Valo from a band called Him. And at the moment you're listening to Bruce Dickinson's Friday Rock Show here on Six Music. About like a year and a half ago I purchased this big old military tower from the year 1845 to look for the Swedes and the Russians, whenever they were trying to invade our little tiny country, so it's got like 4 floors and kind of spooky and gothic and all that, so it fits perfectly my morbid sensibilities. Obviously it cost me a lot of money and I owe the bank some serious money, and I figured out that I better be writing some songs to be able to get rid of that bill. That was one of the reasons, and the other one was that my heart was bleeding. The poo was hitting the fan from various angles, and my personal relationship, and it was fairly infernal, and there's always a good reason to sit down and write a few songs. So that's how basically Dickinson came to be. I'm Scandinavian, I'm Finnish, and we're all miserable bastards, all of us. And it's just, I've grown up listening to really melancholy, really despair-filled music. That kind of makes me happy. I don't know, it's, let's say that, I don't on purpose put myself in risky situations to be able to write songs about them. But I do tend to find myself in them. There's several reasons for that, but I can't complain. I nearly own the house. I ended up in a situation where all the holes in my body started emitting blood. And that's not necessarily a good situation to be in. And went to the doctor and she said that I'd like to take you into the emergency room. And I said that unfortunately I can't make it now because I got a few interviews. And so she said, you're kind of stupid and you're still fairly young and you do have the possibility of maybe living 2 weeks more if you continue your activities. And then I checked into rehab after that. Well, at the end of the day, the pseudo-Christianity behind AA was so helpful to so many people in that facility where I was hanging out that I can't diss it. I can't deny its power to those people. So I was just going with the flow and kind of, reciting in my head all the glorious satanic verses of Deicide while doing the pseudo-Christian activities. They demanded me to. Come on, at the end of the day, if praying to God helps put families together and stuff like that, I think it's worth it. I was praying to Ozzy and Sabbath and stuff like that when they, wanted me to do the serenity prayer, that's what they call it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and blah, blah, blah. So I always started with Ozzy or something like that. And that helped me through. So thank you, Mr. John Osborne. Generic rock albums nowadays tend to have 10 tracks that are all between 3.5 minutes and 4 minutes long. And I grew up with Sabs and Ritual de la Habitual by Jane's Addiction, so all that proggy stuff. At least that's proggy for us. The trend seems to be that there's a lot of tracks, but they don't last that long. It's like, now it's like 35-minute albums are coming back more and more, because when CD gave us the opportunity of having 75 minutes material, everybody was kind of overindulging in the possibility, and I've always considered a good album like being around 45 minutes. That's, before Viagra came, that's how long it took for me to get it going on. The Sleepwalking Past Hope, the track being epic. It's long and boring. It's one of those songs that just couldn't finish itself. It's just felt funnier to add more and more stuff on it, and it sounds like, mid-80s Metallica at points, and a bit Monster Magnet in there, and a bit Hawkwind in there, a bit of Jane's Addiction in there. At least that's how I feel about it. But it does give me the opportunity of, even though we'd be playing a massive arena one day, let's hope for the knock on wood, it gives me the opportunity, because of the long mid-sections and solos, to walk outside of the entire venue, have a fag and maybe a pint when I go back to a bottle, and then come back and still finish the song. Because the album's a bit proggy, it's got a lot of kind of extremes we haven't, touched before, and now, it felt natural to have. I love Led Zeppelin's number 3. It's got those acoustic moments and the really hard rocking moments, and thought they'd be nice to have one little tiny acoustic interlude there. And I had that song ready, and the idea behind that song came from Judy Soul, the great folk singer from the 70s, and she was struggling with a relationship, and she said that it was either song or suicide to help her to get through that thing. And about a year later she overdosed and died. But It's just, you know, it's a nice little ditty amongst all the Sabbathy crap. We tour a lot with the band. The problem with our particular group is that everybody in the band likes different sorts of music, so it's impossible actually to listen to anything on the tour bus, which means that I'm not really up to date when it comes to new stuff. The only new band I really am into is the Silver Sun Pickups from LA. They're really good because I'm a big fan of the early sort of grunge before it was grunge, Dinosaur Jr. and the first Gish by Smashing Pumpkins and all that stuff. So it reminds me of the good old days when I was, you know, I was young and beautiful and full of hope and other fluids.